Which country will host the 18th BRIC Summit 2026? Right option D. India. Where is the 17th BRIC Summit 2025 being held? Right option A. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Which country is chairing the 47th ASEAN Summit 2025? Correct option C. Malaysia. Where is the 5th edition of ASEAN India Youth Summit held in the year 2025? Right option A. Goa. Where is the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit 2025 held? Right option D. Gyeongju, South Korea. Where is the 6th BIMSTEC Summit 2025 being held? Correct option C. Bangkok, Thailand. Where is the 51st Annual G7 Summit 2025 held? Right option A. Canada. Which country will host the 52nd G7 Summit in the year 2026? Right option D. France. Where is the NATO Summit 2025 organized? Right option B. The Hague, Netherlands. India will host the Global Big Cat Summit for the first time in 2026. Where will it be held? Correct option C. New Delhi. Where did Prime Minister Narendra Modi attend the G20 Summit held in November 2025? Correct option B. Johannesburg, South Africa. Where did Prime Minister Narendra Modi lead the 11th International Yoga Day session? Right option D. Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. Where did Prime Minister Narendra Modi chair the 5th National Conference of Chief Secretaries held in December 2025? Correct option C. New Delhi. Where did Prime Minister Narendra Modi chair the 50th Pragati meeting in January 2026? Correct option B. New Delhi. Where is the United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP30, held? Right option D. Belém, Brazil. Which edition of the India-Russia Annual Summit will be held during the visit of Vladimir Putin to India in December 2025? Correct option C. 23rd. Where is the 20th session of the Intergovernmental Committee for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage of UNESCO held in December 2025? Right option C. New Delhi. Where has Union Home Minister Amit Shah inaugurated the 2nd edition of Earth Summit 2025? Right option A. Gandhinagar, Gujarat. Where will the 7th India International Seaweed Expo and Conference 2026 be held? Correct option C. Kochi, Kerala. Where is the 11th edition of India International Science Festival being held in December 2025? Right option C. Panchkula, Haryana. The 9th edition of Pariksha Pe Charcha will be organized by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in January 2026. Its first edition was organized in which year? Right option B. 2018. Where is the 7th meeting of the United Nations Environment Assembly, UNIA 7, held in December 2025? Correct option C. Nairobi, Kenya. Which country will host the 2nd International Olympic Research Conference in 2026? Correct option C. India. Where has Union Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat inaugurated the 13th International Tourism Haat 2025? Right option A. Gangtok, Sikkim. In November 2025, President Draupadi Murmu attended the inaugural session of the 3rd edition of the Chanakya Defense Dialogue 2025. Where was this seminar held? Right option D. New Delhi. Where is the 6th International Agricultural Science Conference held in November 2025? Right option A. New Delhi. Where did Prime Minister Narendra Modi preside over the 60th All India Conference of Directors General of Police and Inspectors General of Police in November 2025? Right option A. IIM Raipur, Chhattisgarh. Where was the World Telecommunication Development Conference 2025 organized? Right option B. Baku, Azerbaijan. Where is the Global Artificial Intelligence Show 2025 held in December 2025? Right option D. Abu Dhabi, UAE. Where is the 12th Global Space Exploration Conference 2025 organized? Right option D, New Delhi. Where was the IUCN World Conservation Congress 2025 held? Right option B, Abu Dhabi, UAE. Where has the 25th Heads of State Summit 2025 of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO begun? Right option D, Tianjin, China. Where is the World Health Organization Second Global Summit on Traditional Medicine held in December 2025? Right option A, New Delhi, India. Where is the World Health Summit 2025 and Digital held? Correct option C, Berlin, Germany. Where did the third AI Action Summit 2025 co-chaired by PM Modi begin? Correct option C, Paris, France. Where is the World Hydrogen Summit 2025 organized? Right option D, Rotterdam, Netherlands. Where is the 12th edition of the World Government Summit organized in February 2025? Right option A, Dubai, UAE. In which state the 18th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention has been organized? Right option B, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Where was the 23rd Asia Pacific Institute for Broadcasting Development General Conference held in 2025? Correct option C, Phuket, Thailand. Where's the World Air Transport Summit 2025 being held? Correct option B, New Delhi. Where did President Draupadi Murmu attend the centenary celebrations of the Old Chiki script of Santhali language? Correct option D, Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. Where is the Asian Security Summit IIS's Shangri-La Dialogue 2025 organized? Correct option C, Singapore. Which city will host the first International Conference on Democracy and Election Management 2026 in India? Right option B, New Delhi. Which country will host the COP31 Climate Summit in 2026? Right option D, Turkey. Where is the 15th Conference of the Parties, COP15, to the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands held in July 2025? Right option D, Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. Where is the National Textile Ministers Conference 2026 held in January 2026? Right option D, Guwahati. Where is the 20th Global Sustainability Summit 2025 held? Correct option D, New Delhi. Which country will host the G20 Summit 2026? Correct option C, America. Where is the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit 2025 held? Right option B, Gyeongju, South Korea. Where is the 9th Global Technology Summit 2025 organized? Correct option C, New Delhi.